Welcome to the Museum of Contemporary Art in Detroit, where we're at the American premiere of the Lamborghini Urus. As you can tell, it's fairly loud in here because there's quite a party atmosphere, as you would expect from Lamborghini. So we're going to sit in the car and talk a bit more about it. Well, it's a bit quieter in here, so let's have a quick discussion about this car. What do we think of a Lamborghini SUV? Of course, in the past there's been the LM002, of which there is one here. In fact, there are two here. There's a red one and a white one. Obviously, we would have all liked a modern Lamborghini SUV to have had the V12 from the Aventador, or even the V10 from the Huracan. But we have to accept that fundamentally that was never really going to happen, was it? So underneath this is the MLB Evo platform that we've seen in the Audi Q7 and the Bentley Bentayga, and of course most recently the new Porsche Cayenne. And that's no bad thing. All those cars are very different, and this is likely to be the most sort of performance orientated of them all. Under the bonnet is the 4-litre twin-turbo V8 that we've already seen in the Cayenne, but here it's putting out 641 brake horsepower and 627 pounds-foot of torque. It's obviously going to all four wheels, got the 8-speed gearbox in here, 0-60 in 3.6 seconds. We've also got the rear wheel steer, which is seen in the Cayenne. We've got the biggest brakes, I think, on any production car at 440 millimeters on the front, with massive 10-piston calipers on them, which is pretty extraordinary. There is no doubt that the performance of this will be mind-blowing, I'm sure. I mean, it'll be worthy of a Lamborghini and much easier to live with than an LM002, it's fair to say. One thing that I've been very impressed with is the styling is dividing opinion. Those door handles on the rear arches, I think, still wrong. But I thought this might be a packaging nightmare in the way that a BMW X6 is. Actually, if you sit in the back, plenty of room. Boot, huge. So this does actually stack up as a practical proposition, which I thought it might. I thought it might be a bit of a sort of a white elephant to that extent. But no, this is actually a proper SUV with plenty of room in it. And if it drives as well as the specs suggest it will do, with all its torque vectoring both on and off-road, I want to see one of these off-road. I want to see it in dunes. I think that would be very, very cool. The other thing it's just worth saying is that it's sitting in this interior here. This is all actually really lovely with these two screens and things. It's an amazing place to be. And then the central section of this, we've got the flip-up switch aircraft style, which we've seen obviously in the Huracan and the Aventador, but then these as well, which sort of select the Anima, the different modes, Strada, Sport, Corsa, Nev, and I think there's Sand and all sorts of other things as well, and the Ego mode over here for the suspension, the steering, and the four-wheel drive for the traction. It does actually feel like quite a special place to be. I was unconvinced by the Urus, but having sat in it, I'm more convinced by it. Let us know what you think about the car. Should Lamborghini be doing this? Should it have the V12 in it rather than this turbocharged 4-litre V8? Remember to keep an eye on Carfection for all the other stuff coming out of the Detroit Motor Show, and let us know on social media as well.